Hello, crafty friends! My name's Alicia, but you can call me Crafty Al. And in today's video, I'll be showing you how you can turn one piece of pattern paper into 6 quick and easy cards. Welcome, or perhaps welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. Each month, I get together with some of my creative team members for a little SheetLoad rewind. This is when we revisit a past edition of SheetLoad of Cards, sometimes updating it, other times just making a new set. Make sure that when you're done watching my video today, you go and see what everybody else has created. You can use the playlist linked toward the top of the description box below, and I'll also have it as an end card at the end of the video. This month, the team will be rewinding back to May of 2023. This edition originally showed you how to create 12 cards with just 2 pieces of pattern paper and some cardstock. The May 2023 printable is currently in the vault, which means it's only available to channel members, but because we are revisiting it in this month's Rewind Hop, it will be available to all subscribers for 1 month. So make sure to keep watching to find out how you can download the PDF if you don't already have it. For my set of cards today, I am going to switch it up just a little bit, and I only cut 1 piece of pattern paper instead of 2. Now, if you would like to see the original debut and process video to get more tips and tricks on how to put this sheet load together, I will have both of those linked in the description box below. Up on screen now, I am using one of my favorite helper hacks, and that is my mini Scor-Buddy to help me align corners and edges of pieces when I adhere them together. These pieces are for my focal point, which I'm going to be stamping a sentiment, and for that I chose You Color Me Happy from the You Color Me Happy Tailored Expression stamp set. I thought that sentiment went well with that pretty kind of alcohol ink foiled pattern paper. Because these are rubber stamps, I am unable to see through them to make sure I get everything set up centered and straight, so always in my MISTI I keep a little piece of clear acetate. What I'm going to do is set up my stamp where I think it will go, and then instead of stamping onto the piece that will be on the final card, I'm going to just grab an ink that I have handy and stamp it onto the piece of acetate. I did notice with the first test stamp that it was a little bit skewed, so I fixed that and did another test by just rotating the acetate, and that one was good, so all I have to do is remove that, and later I will clean this off. To match the foiling on the pattern paper, I'm going to be stamping my sentiments with Versamark and heat embossing with some detail gold powder. The first thing I'm going to do before I stamp this is prep my surface with the anti-static powder tool, just so I only get powder where I want it. Then to make sure that ink is nice and juicy, I did ink up and stamp the sentiment twice. And now I always like to pour my powder over a funnel tray so later it's easy for me to get back into the jar. I did go ahead and do these all kind of an assembly line. I stamped, poured the powder on, and for now I'm just going to set those to the side and I'll heat them all at once. Now I would say this 6 is probably the most you should do because you don't want your ink to get too dry and then have the powder blow away when you go to set it. And speaking of setting the powder, I always like to let my tool heat up for about 30 seconds before I heat up the back of the cardstock and then bring it to the front to melt the powder. Now another thing you can do is instead of bringing it to the front, just heat your powder right from the back. But I do notice sometimes if you heat it front and back, it keeps your cardstock a little bit more even or unwarped. Let me know down in the comment section below how you heat up your embossing powder. Once all of the sentiments were ready, it was time to add these pieces to their cardstock mat. I did bring back in my Scor-Buddy for a helper, and that's because instead of putting these with an even border all the way around, the left edges of each piece get aligned. So with the Scor-Buddy, I have that nice flat edge to set everything up against. While I add pattern paper A to its cardstock mat, I thought I would tell you how you can download the instructions if you're a subscriber to my channel. That is, if you missed it the first time around. As always, please make sure before you click on the download link, which I'll tell you where that's at here in just a minute, that you have already clicked on the subscribe button below. It's free, it's quick, it's easy. And while you're there, why don't you go ahead and ring that bell for notifications so you're the first to know about my latest videos. The link to the May 2023 Sheetload of Cards will be down in the description box above my P.O. box address for the next 30 days. Below the link, it will say to watch the video for a password, but you watching this far is your password. If you miss that window and you would still like access to this printable, you can become a channel member. It starts as low as $1.99 a month and gives you access to almost 100 Sheetload of Cards editions, as well as some other fun perks. To find out more, click on the join button below this video to see the different levels and the prices. Before I adhere the sentiments onto their backer, I did take some time and paired up each piece with what I thought would look the best with the colors that are on pattern paper piece B compared to what's on pattern paper piece A. I had a lot that had more blue in them, and I still had 3 that were more red or orange. This is going to be one of the places where you can make Sheetload your own. You can move your sentiment up or down the card. You could rotate the background. Do whatever looks best with your focal points and any additional items you might want to add to your card bases. For mine, I'm going to go ahead and keep it looking pretty much like the sketch, which means the left edge of the sentiment block aligns with the left edge of the pattern paper on its mat. Once those layers are adhered together, this piece gets put onto a card base. You just want to try to get a nice even border all the way around. Now another thing you could do is add your sentiment block with some foam tape for added dimension, but for me, I'm going to keep these nice and flat for mailing. To put the rest of the cards together, I use more of an assembly line process. I added all of the sentiments to their backgrounds and then added all of those to the card bases. Now in the middle of this, I did run out of adhesive. I do get asked frequently how to load the ATG and where I buy my adhesive. I have a dedicated video of how I load mine, which I have found is the easiest way. It will be linked in the description box below, and I'll also put it as a card up in the corner now. Also in the description box below, I have linked my favorite supplier for tape, and that is Tape Jungle. I do have a special discount code for you, CRAFTYAL10, that will save you 10%. I have linked the item that I purchase in the description box, but before you place the order, you'll want to make sure you get the correct refill for your ATG. Once my adhesive had been replaced, I continued putting my cards together, and to use up some of the scrap pattern paper, I decorated the inside of the cards. And here are some close-up looks at the finished set. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I put together this set of 6 colorful cards using the May 2023 Sheetload of Cards. If you did, as always, a thumbs up is appreciated. Now don't forget to go see what everyone else on the team created by using the link list in the description box below or the end card here in just a few seconds. Until my next video, I hope you're all having a crafty day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch all the way to the end of the video. I hope now you'll consider clicking on one of the videos or playlists I have linked above. And if you are interested in any of the products or tools I used in today's video, I do have some links in the description box below.